The year of 2022 lies behind us now, and with it a gigantic year for anime came to an end. Not only did we get to experience pure hype and nostalgia, but also a crapload of really solid shows and new surprises with each seasonal lineup. Which is why this anime year can only be categorized as absolutely stacked. Therefore, putting together a personal top 10 has been really hard this time, and that's why I genuinely feel bad for not being able to put certain shows on this list, but that's just how it is now. So if you happen to miss your favorite show on this one, don't worry, because so do I. At least if your favorite show wasn't something like this. Because that shit was just boring. But now, without further ado, let's go. Corporate greed, political corruption, and giant ass-kicking robots, all sprinkled with a bit of revenge. Doesn't this already sound like an exciting experience? But wait, something's missing. Ah, there, I found it. Tomato Sakuga. I never was big into Gundam before, is the first sentence you will hear from a large portion of people who enjoy these kind of shows. And at this point let me tell you something. I never was big into Gundam before, but it doesn't matter if you happen to be a day one mecha enthusiast, an enjoyer of asshole sci-fi corporate plots, or just in search for your occasional fill of good old-fashioned backstabbing. The Witch from Mercury got you covered. A sci-fi world where unjust racism and war are daily business serves as the stage for Suletta Mercury, a naive girl who's just trying to fit in, not knowing how disgustingly few people there are to trust around her. And since laying low and not standing out is not in question for basically every anime main character, the snowball she starts making gets rolling quickly. Up on the first day of school kind of quickly. I don't know if I told you guys this already, but I never was big into Gundam before. After binging through this one though, I see potential for myself picking up the other shows too. And the next time we talk about this franchise, I might actually have more to say about it than me like, me watch. Roughly 4 years after the third season, we were finally able to continue following everyone's favorite skeleton lord on his quest to, well, what was his motivation again? Ah, who cares? At least I got what I like, which is fiction and politics. Why do I like politics in anime so much, you ask? Because it's actually interesting to watch everything unfold as long as you aren't the one getting f***ed over by it. Season 4 of Overlord felt a good bit slower than all the previous seasons. We don't talk about the lizards for now. But not gonna lie, I enjoyed this change of pace quite a bit. This time the focus lies on plotting and resource management, which sounds boring, but there are no lizards. So don't worry. Now I did talk about them, huh? Anyways, get me that Warhammer style Overlord RTS and you won't see me outside anymore. Not that you do now, but let a man dream. Overall, this season felt like a great bridge between what happened so far and what will come in the future. The CGI didn't look as, let's call it experimental as in season 3, and we got one of the best evil Disney princess musical performances in isekai anime. If I happen to continue making videos on this platform and if you guys follow my content, then I can't wait to talk about Overlord again on my top 10 anime of the year 2028, when season 5 showed us the real meaning of what it means to be a lizard. How often does it happen that you connect that much with an anime that alone watching it makes you feel exactly the way you imagine the characters are feeling? Call of the Night for me was like this. Watching this show at night made me feel like I'm outside, experiencing the night by myself. Because my lazy ass couldn't be bothered to just go outside in real life. But jokes aside, I really did go out at night sometimes because of the inner craving this anime managed to inflict me with. It's like imagining chewing on center shocks and immediately getting a river of saliva flowing in your mouth, but with lo-fi filters. Enough of my private experience though. I also wanna give the show credit for other things than its vibe. The visuals were stunning, the music atmospheric, characters and their interactions never felt forced or too tropey, and the voice performance was one of the best I've heard this year. As you can see, I quite like this one, but the fact that it only ranked 8 on my list shows how hard the competition has been this year. None of the following shows were able to make me move my Adonis body outside, but they just were better. But still, thank you Leiden Films for this wonderful adaptation. Maybe people are finally able to forgive you for Berserk now.
It never happened.
Imagine being one of the best, most thrilling shows of the year, but no one watches you because the only legal streaming platform you're available on is something most people wouldn't look at with their ass when all they wanna do is watching some nice anime. Well, there's always the option to set sail yourself and make way for Hitogashima, an island where strange stuff happens, strange people reside, and the sudden death of a beloved person starts to turn the main character's life completely around. Summertime Rendering managed to do what many thriller anime aren't able to, creating enough mystery and atmosphere that you don't start to lose attention or interest after the first few episodes. There aren't that many thriller anime to begin with compared to other genres, and the few ones we get every now and then often lack certain engaging aspects, but this show took a simple setting, made it interesting, kept going further and further and further, until at the last steps it fell off a little bit. But that's excusable, because what we got was still a solid ride from start to almost the end. Made in Abyss, the golden city of the scorching sun, or how I like to describe it, fosters home for imaginary friends with immense PTSD. I have no clue how Made in Abyss does it, but this show in all its weirdness and graphic representation of pain, be it physical or mental, is able to gross you out, but also to fascinate you so much that you can't help getting sucked into this brutal and mysterious world. The Abyss, its creatures and their backgrounds are able to give you a feeling of uneasiness, but at the same time they light up so much curiosity inside you that it's impossible to stop watching. If this anime was a restaurant, it could serve me a piece of feces with a decorative flag on it, and I still would devour it in no time, all while crying over its sad past. The word bidding of Made in Abyss is not perfect, but it's definitely high up there. The music, the atmosphere, the gore, the survival. It's like a scam artist trying to sell a child Dark Souls, but with Dora the Explorer boxing around it. The difference is that with season 2 everyone already knew what they were getting into, but as long as this show continues to be that interesting, I will gladly return to see what other kinds of horrors this anime can throw at me, while also make me either feel absolute disgust or even sorry for them. This unique adventure is definitely not for everyone, but for me it's a worthy 6th place on this list. With a short-term triumph over Fullmetal Alchemist and as of now ranked as the top rom-com anime on Mal, Kaguya-sama Ultra Romantic doesn't need a big introduction. This show concentrates on what it does best, which is the comedy part. Now, sense of humor is different for everyone, but if you watched all of Kaguya-sama and managed to not laugh out loud even once, then I would never go near Area 51 if I were you, because you're probably not human. Kaguya-sama is one of the very few shows which gets even better with every new upcoming season. I started enjoying its first season, liking the second one and absolutely loving the third. At this point, the only missing thing that would make the show the potential best one of its genre is a happy ending for all of those pitiful singles. Ha! Imagine not having a partner. But seriously, this anime deserves all the praise it gets. Because when it's about forgetting a bad day, having a genuine laugh, or listening to the greatest narrator in anime history, then this show is a must watch. Early 2022, the girlest of girls and the boyest of boys presented us one of the most refreshing and wholesome romance anime shows of the year. Without dull moments and stupid misunderstandings, My Dress Up Darling catapulted itself onto the list of the most liked romance anime of all time. And that's mostly thanks to the extremely likable set of characters, all above Marin Kitagawa. Having a clear favorite for Best Girl of the Year and sticking with that decision all the way until the end is something that doesn't happen often. But this extroverted, cheerful Garu set the bar so damn high that no one thought there will be a better fit than her. But while at the end of the year the spot for Best Girl is still debatable, I think most of us can agree that our man Gojo unquestionably deserves Best Boy of 2022. The character dynamics of Dress Up Darling made the show thrive quickly, and the amount of enjoyment these two gave me made the show place this high on my list. With that being said, I'm looking forward to the second season. More cosplays, more kindness, and more development between the most sympathetic, soon-to-be couple of the year. Bleach is back. And it's better than it ever has been. To clarify, no, I never read the manga of it, but its anime adaptation back in the day gave me so many good memories that I'm more than happy that this semi-continuation absolutely slaps. There's no need for nostalgia stained glasses, because this arc has just been a genuine banger so far. But I gotta say, these f***ers knew exactly what they were doing with the first episode. I won't spoil anything here, and I guess most of you already know about Ichigo and his friends anyways. If you don't, then this might be a great opportunity to step into it and see for yourself what ancient shonen fans enjoyed. I'm just happy that a show I have watched ages ago is able to still make me feel like a hyped up child, but also is able to show me that we've both grown a lot since then. I don't have much more to say other than that this anime has been possibly the nicest treat for old school shonen fans in a while, and although I feel old now, I'm also very glad to have this show in my personal top 3. Atsuki Fujimoto, the man, the myth, the legend, gave us one of the weirdest, most interesting and crazy stories in years, and with the help and hard work of a small no-name animation studio called Mappa, we were able to not only read a masterpiece, but also fully immerse ourselves in it by enjoying 10 out of 10 Makima ASMR. I know there has been quite a lot of controversies and complaining about Chainsaw Man Online, but let me say this, I don't give a shit, because this show was great, refreshing, and let me relive many of the good impressions I had when I first read the manga. Animation wise, this show has made some of the best uses of CGI I've seen in anime. The CGI got better from episode to episode, characters and how they were presented exactly felt like I was imagining them. The opening was one of the few I haven't skipped even once, and more variation when it comes to ending themes should be normalized now after what we've been given here. But after all the praise, one negative point shouldn't do much, right? Because I agree with a lot of people that the OST felt underwhelming, and at the point of me making this video I don't even remember a single track of it. But other than that, I got entertained by every episode. Chainsaw Man might not have lived up to everyone's hype and expectations, but it did to mine, and this enjoyment got only topped by one other anime this year. But before we get into it, time for a quick interlude. I guess some of you are missing shows like Attack on Titan and Mob Psycho 100 on here. The short answer for that is, I didn't watch them yet, but if I had, I'm sure they would be somewhere on this list. And now before we talk about the #1 anime of 2022, I wanna mention some other great shows that barely didn't make it on my list. Blue Lock managed to steal a first that I've had for quite a while, and that's over-the-top ball-kicking anime. Exaggerated and intense hype moments are what myself and many others wanted, and I'm definitely looking forward for more. Bocchi the Rock was one of the biggest surprises of last year's fall season. Music anime already are hitting my weak spot, and the slice of life moments made me craving for the whole pie. Hitori ranks amongst my favorite characters of this year, and so does this anime, but it just barely didn't manage to make it this time. Ya Boy Kongming has been a similar experience for me. Music and lovable characters, but also a main character that turned out to be one of the most loyal and helpful ones this year. And the same thing goes for Licorice Recoil, except the music part maybe. A1 Pictures brought us a great original show, and I really hope we will see more of Chisato and Takina sometime in the future. And at the last spot of my honorable mentions, there's a show that I wouldn't be surprised by it being the #1 for many of you. Spy Family is a great, wholesome and funny show of which I can think about a single person around me that disliked it. I certainly enjoyed it, and this show not being on the list just shows how hard the competition this year has been. And now that my guilty conscience is cleared, let's come to an end with my personal favorite anime of 2022. In Night City, your only enemy is the city itself. A city you cannot escape from. A city that slowly but steady devours you. Yet there are still people who try to keep up the fight. Not only for themselves, but also for others. And this show portrays this in the best way possible. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a fast-paced and captivating anime that keeps hitting you with interchanging bursts of cinematic action choreographies and all kinds of different emotions, be it excitement, laughter, or sadness. The story immediately catches you and without any chance to breathe, pulls you in more and more until the crazy ride is over. But even afterwards, you can still feel its grip, which won't let you escape the emptiness. Every character in Edgerunners feels like they belong to this world. Every conversation affects them, and every single one of their actions has consequences. From the wishes, over music, all the way to writing and atmosphere. CD Projekt Red and Studio Trigger were able to build a story that perfectly fits this unfair dystopian world. There's no need to play the game in order for you to understand or enjoy this show, and the short episode count makes for a quick but intense watch. The pacing, as said, is fast, but it never feels rushed or overwhelming. It's just how life in Night City works. Cyberpunk Edgerunners hasn't only been the best experience of the year, but one of the best in general, at least for me. And that is why it is my favorite anime of 2022.
So what do you want?
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to post your favorite anime shows of 2022 in the comments down below, and if you wanna support my channel, hit the like button, subscribe, click the bell, whatever you want. As always, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, peace.